Okay, welcome everyone. I believe we are live. Excellent, very good. So what we're going to do in this one is talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart called head trash. Head trash. It's not actually near and dear. It's more like the avoidance of head trash is what I want to talk about. And we're going to go through it in a coding context. So this is a coding channel, right? I talk about coding, skill development for coding and stuff like that. But sometimes it's the mental game of, coding and stuff like that. It's the mentality. It's like mind games sometimes. And it's sort of, talking about mind games and all that is very important because it leaks into everything else in your life. So what I do is like, I talk about all this mind stuff, right? In the context of coding, So let's just go through it and do our best. So I'm going to define this thing called head trash, right? So what it is like you are doing something, right? And then it's just negative self-talk, right? And then it just snowballs into something where you're paralyzed and you can't do anything at all. You're just absolutely paralyzed, and that's it. You're done, son. You're done. You're all done. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's get to the presentation and whoa. My bad. Let's get to the presentation and hope we can teach everyone something about head trash. Okay, let's go. So, next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so let's put definitions about it and what we're actually talking about. And so I'm not just some crazy guy on the stream being like, guy's nuts. But no, there's a method to the madness. So let's get into it. So what is going on here? So head trash, right? You've got a big project coming up ahead. Imagine you've got this massive project and you need to release some code or something, or maybe you've got, I don't know, maybe you're a math student and you have a math exam coming up or a math assignment coming up, or even you're a marketing person, right? And you're in a marketing agency. A client comes to you and they're like big, they're huge, and you need to deliver some marketing about it. I'm learning about marketing, so I'm not sure what delivering marketing means, but you got to deliver the marketing and the sales. Or maybe you're in finance and you've got to do presentations and graphs and statistics and charts and corporations and stuff like that. Or maybe you're a coder and you've got to do GitHub and Excel and statistics and Jira and Grafana and things like that. Very important stuff. But you start doing this and you make the plan, you put it in Jira, you put it in Trello, or maybe you just got a book, right? You've got a book and you're like, I'm going to make a plan. You write the plan, you stick it on the wall with some glue tack, which is very important to keep up pieces of paper on the wall. But you start it. So you've written your plan and you start it. And then you sort of see you're going slower than you initially intended, right? You're just going a little bit slower than what you thought would actually go. And then you sort of miss intermediary deadlines, and then you start saying, oh, I'm going nowhere. And then when one thing comes in, all the other stuff comes in. So the head trash starts speaking. And what that is, right? What that is it's things like you're saying, oh, I'm not good enough. You'll never end up finishing any of this. You'll never, why even bother? Because, oh, my bad. Let me get back to the screen. Yep. So let me just get this keyboard out of the way. Okay, cool. So you'll never end up, doing it. You'll never end up finishing. It's just pointless. It's worthless. It's just, what's even the point? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so the real problem is that, so there's this head trash issue, and it's like self-sabotage. And so the real, you're just feeling stuck, and you feel like you're failing. And I propose, it is because your brain is overloaded. It's trying to plan, execute, and judge things all at the same time. So this is what I think could possibly be the underlying issue here. It's just a lot of mental clutter and self-doubt that's happening. So we're going to try and solve this business. We're going to try and solve this business. Okay, let's get to it. So let's talk about the solutions of head trash. Step 1, track your wins. So one of the most important things is to have like a daily wins log or some tally or some, some transaction log of all your, or ledger or whatever, of all your wins. So here, this is my daily win book. It's very important to me. What I do is I sort of every single win, I write down the win, and then I put a score beside it. I put a score like from 1 to 4. So it's like 1 to 3 is just, small wins, medium wins, big wins, right? And then 4 is like huge wins, massive wins. And so it's very important. Because I'm very numbers oriented, and then I like to sort of at the end of the week score up how many wins, like the total win score I have, which keeps me motivated. And then also in addition, we do this thing with our brain where we sort of weight the wins, right? We weight the losses. We weight the losses more heavily than our wins. And so it's important to sort of come up with mechanisms to counteract that in our brain. So we come up with this wins book, and we can very clearly, we just open it and look at all these wins. I just look at all this amazing stuff I've done. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I feel much better. And then it sort of get rid of like the self-talk of like, oh, I'm not doing anything, it's not going anywhere, the project's not doing anything. Because you actually now, because you have this record of wins, you have concrete evidence that the project is actually going somewhere and you're doing something. So it's very important to just see the progress there. And, examples here is like you finished a section of code, you wrote 1 page of your plan, had a productive meeting or something like that. And then what I do on top of that is, you assign just a score to it. Okay, let's see what's next. So make a clear plan. I think that's very important. So goal setting. Let me talk about my method of goal setting. So what I do is, no matter what happens, right? No matter what happens, I always have goals. I always have goals, and then I always write down exactly what I want. So it doesn't matter what I want. It can be huge. It can be like it's just massive. But this is the method. This is the secret sauce. This is the secret sauce, guys. The secret crispy chicken sauce. Anyway, you write down what B is, and then you write down what A is. So you write down your goal. It can be anything. Then you write down what A is, which is A is where are you right now in the world? And then your only task to get this goal is go from A to B. Easy peasy. And how do we go from A to B? You can't just go there in one jump. So what you have to do is you draw intermediary steps to get from A to B. You draw intermediary steps to get from A to B. And then you just take one step at a time in sequential order. If you can hire people, maybe you can like do stuff in parallel. But if you're one person, just do it in sequential order for now. And then eventually you get to your B goal, which is, you get to B, right? So another important thing is like on each of these steps is you need to write a definition of done. So I call it the DOD, the definition of done. So what the definition of done is literally in the meaning. It's just a sentence or something saying what it means to have this task fully completed. So for example, if you're writing some code and you say, I'm going to write this section of code, which is your task. And then the definition of done could be, I've fully written this code, tested it, and it compiles without errors. So what the definition of done is, it sort of makes things a little bit more concrete. It grounds it in the real world. So like if the code compiles with errors, it means it didn't satisfy the definition of done. Therefore, the task is not done. But if it compiles, you get all the green checks, it's actually done. You can see it's as yes or no. It's very concrete. It's done. Okay, and so I've written this little thing here: clarity beats motivation every time, which is very important. So on the days you don't feel like getting out of bed, so there's some days you don't feel like getting out of bed, you don't feel like doing anything, and what you're going to do is you're going to look in your head and be like, okay, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do today? Now that is very difficult, especially when you're demotivated and you're just feeling sad or whatever. And you don't feel like doing anything at all. Now, if you have steps and these definitions of done and stuff like that, you very easily motivate yourself to do what you need to do very quickly. So you just look at your plan and you just need to take the first step there. It's already laid out for you. It's all done, like this, the planning, it's all done. So you just need to take that first step. You don't sort of overwhelm yourself. You just say, hey, I'm going to get this one thing done first, straight away. And then you just do that. And then what will happen is you end up building motivation to do the other things you have planned. So you're not improving it. You just have this plan, and the mental clutter of just improving everything all at once is not there. You just know exactly what to do. Okay, next is separate the planning from the doing. This is actually another super important stuff, and this whole presentation is about minimizing mental clutter. So the planning and the doing are two separate tasks. So you never want to be planning and executing at the same time. You always want to have a planning phase, a strategizing phase, and then once you're done with the planning, you want to leave that to one side and then just be like a robot and execute exactly on it, right? Because if you start executing and then you change your plan, then you're context switching, which burns. Oh my God, context switching burns so much energy. It's not good. It's not good at all. So you want to minimize the context switching, and one of the things that context switches is like mixing the planning and the strategizing. So what you do is you schedule planning sessions maybe at the start of the week. We do this in code actually. So sprints. If you've ever been in the coding world, you know about these things called sprints, right? And what you do is you write out all the tasks on a Monday when you start the sprint or something, and then you put them in like tickets in Jira or things like that, and then you just very meticulously plan it. You can assign like story scores or whatever, like weight how much each thing is, and then you're going to assign each of the tasks to a particular person or things like that, right? And then so you literally spend maybe 2 hours like sprint planning, right? You strategize what order should I do things, and then once you're done with that, it's going to be locked in for that sprint. It's locked in, and then you can't modify it unless you're blocked, like unless it's like really in a horrible position, and maybe you can tweak things, but don't really try not to tweak anything once the schedule, like once it's like I got to do it, I got to go forward and do this. So and then you move on to the execution stage, and then so the whole time you're using your mind for one thing, but it's in a sequential order. You're never executing then planning at the same time, because what you're doing is you're using your mind for two things. You just want to use it for one thing and just do it in sequential order. Okay, so an antidote to head trash. So head trash thrives on confusion, uncertainty, and self-criticism. The cure is clarity, structure, small wins. So this is something you should stick up on your wall. So like take a screenshot of your screen right now. It's just a summary of everything we talked about before, but it's so true. So you need to be clear, you need to be structured, planning, and then write down your small wins. So that's important. So take a screenshot of that right now. Do it now. Okay, next. So the final thoughts, when you track your wins, what you do, like you define what done looks like, definition of done, and separate the planning and execution of things. So you don't just make progress, you feel like you're making progress, because sometimes like we are run by our emotions sometimes and feelings. So like you do need to make progress, but you also need to feel like you're making progress. It's a double-edged sword, because sometimes you can feel like you're making progress, but you're actually not making progress, which is like the whole productive procrastination thing. So it's about, so you need, it's more like you need to be aware in your mind what you're doing. Okay, final slide. Final slide. Your mindset is your greatest asset, and your greatest enemy, right? So again, this is Coder Trader. We focus on coding, and we have a little bit of trading in a different group. But we also want to like help people with mindset, and it's honestly half the battle when you're doing such endeavors. Like when you're coding, it's half the battle, the mindset. So we want to help people with their mindset. Now, if you're interested in this, go to my bio link. We have a school community, and it's free to join. But we also have boot camps and things like that to sort of get you on track. So sometimes you need to just, you have all the tools, you have all the books, like I can see all these coding books underneath me, but sometimes it's just, you're just feeling a bit low, you don't have the mindset, maybe you're going to do something, but you don't end up doing, and it kind of feels addictive, like not to do stuff. And we're going to fix all that. We can actually fix all that. So join the school community. We'll fix all that. We'll get you set on a plan, keep you accountable, make sure you have like community members, courses about mindset, specifically in coding, or it could be technical things like math or university or work or technical jobs or things like that. It's like we address the mindset of that. We address the mindset of that as well. And so that course is being built out right now. You join right now while it's free. You'll get lifetime early access, right? Just because it's being built, you get free access, and when it's done, you'll have free access for life. But anyway, I'm gonna end it right there. Hopefully, you have learned something. Tell me what your most valuable lesson from this live stream is in the comments below.